Let's say you're writing an application where you want to do a particular task every 10 seconds or every 1 hour or every so often you want to do something. What do? There's a function in JavaScript which is built in called setInterval. So setInterval, and what the setInterval function does, it takes two parameters. One parameter is a function that you want to run every so often, and the second parameter is how often do you want to run it. So I'm going to provide a function over here, and this function is simply going to console.log hi. And you can write whatever complex function over here, it doesn't matter. But just for our demonstration, because we're learning, we want to keep it simple, because simplicity is how you learn the basic concepts. So as I told you, the setInterval function takes two parameters. First is the function, so this is a parameter, and the second thing is the how often do you want to run this function. So I'm going to say 1000 milliseconds. So the second parameter is in milliseconds. So now when I save and now refresh, you see hi is going to run every 1 second or 1000 milliseconds. So you see this number is going up and up and up because the JavaScript console of Chrome doesn't, if it's the same value, it doesn't print it at the same line or the next line. It just adds this number over here. So it's working every 1000 milliseconds. Now let's say if you at certain scenario in your, let's say in your application, you're writing a program that every 1 second the clock should tick, right? So you can run the function to re-render the clock. Let's say we're gonna look at an example in a different video, but let's say you want to write that function. But let's say if the user hits pause, then you want to clear the interval or stop the interval. So we have a convenient function available to us in JavaScript as well, which is called clearInterval. So over here, I'm going to write clearInterval. And the job of this particular function, it just only takes one parameter, and it's going to take that particular interval, whatever parameter we give it, and it's going to stop that interval. So we want to stop this particular interval, let's say, right? So first, we need to assign this particular interval to a variable. So I'm going to simply say const and say, let's say, I is equal to this particular interval. All right. And now let's say if you want to clear the interval, we're going to provide the value I over here. And now if I save and I'll refresh, you see nothing is going to log, because when the JavaScript engine came over here, it said, okay, I gotta run this particular function every 1000 milliseconds, and then, okay, I'm gonna do that, but now I'm gonna keep on going and read other lines of code. So it comes over here and says, oh, line number 5, I need to stop the interval. So it immediately stops it. And before the 1000 milliseconds are over, the interval has been cleared, and hence this particular function never runs. So that is just a very quick and dirty example to show you how intervals are set and cleared in JavaScript. But in the real world example, you would of course not clear it so quickly. You would have some kind of activity or some kind of action that a user takes or some kind of event that happens, after which you want to clear or restart the interval. So that's a quick example. You know these features exist, and I'm going to talk to you in the next video.